Hello, everybody out there in internet land. It is that time again. It is time for X-Marks the Spot with me, your host, Richter Hammer. And joining me, as always, is the usual bunch of misfits. We have Mr. James Phoenix. And, okay then. And we have Chris, a.k.a. The Mole.
I'm sorry about that. That was muted. I thought I was actually talking to you. I apologize.
Shh. Spotlight, Mole. No. Thank you.
And Marcus Shadow finishing up over there.
Yellow.
All right, so hopefully by now you know how we do it. We are going to...
By the way, can I just interject and just say for your intro, the internet land just sounds like the most horrifying place on the planet.
Can I also say I totally need to update my deck to include Mole Spotlight?
You do.
Do it.
It's been in enough videos now. I'm going to include Mole Spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we will start with our weekly awards, highlighting anything that we liked from the previous week in wrestling, and then we will go to our match of the night per show and promo of the night.
I don't think Marcus knows he's unmuted.
Oh, my bad.
I think
he's setting a bomb.
Yeah, all we can hear is like beep 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 beep. Beep.
It would have been great if then he just whispered, he's like, "This'll teach her." Oh, that's what he was finishing up.
Then we just heard Woody Allen being like, "Leave me alone." Why it's Woody Allen this week, I don't know. I like Woody Allen.
Yes, a bomb is being set. Attention, anybody out there listening to this podcast, if you are near a celebrity, get away now.
Drop your fame and head to the exit.
Wow.
Poor Marcus.
Celebrity. I heard my movie was gonna bomb. Marcus, hey, you don't know the half of it.
Hey, Shyamalan, try this for a twist.
Wouldn't the twist be like he lives through the explosion or something?
Exactly.
That'd be the point where I quit.
The twist is Marcus Shadow has now become famous himself. So like that film with Bruce Willis, he has to go back in time and assassinate himself.
Shadow Looper.
Nice.
All right, so first with our awards, let's go with Marcus Shadow for his first one.
Sure. So, my first award is... Jim, how much of Raw did you catch?
I saw all of Raw this week.
Good. So my first award is,
Russo
I call it the Jericho in Spirit Award, giving it to Dean Ambrose for his therapy session where he does a word association and says, "Ho!" for Jim Duggan, and then immediately after, the therapist puts up Stephanie McMahon, and he turns around and goes, "Ho!" I was like, yes, that's brilliant. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
When you first started, I thought he was going to say something like associate, and he's going to be like wrestling move, and he'd be like arm bar.
That would have been awesome.
Nice.
That would have been good.
But yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So next up, James Phoenix.
Alrighty. I'm going to go a little out of order because since Marcus started there, I will piggyback off of that. And this week I had an award because I was trying to figure out a catchy way to work it into his nickname, and the best I came up with was the laughable fringe. Because Dean Ambrose had by far the best jokes of the night over the course of that segment. Specifically, the aforementioned Stephanie joke, and also the joke, and also that a moment over the course of that. Rick, have you seen the recent commercials from the movie of SmackDown on Thursday?
Yes, I have actually.
In which they're all in the therapy session looking at the ink blot. Well, there's a point during one of the segments with Dean Ambrose where the doctor says something to him, he just goes Thursday, just for no reason. It was hilarious.
Nice.
But yeah, he had the best jokes of the night throughout the course of that whole thing. Just that I don't know. Other people might have more awards for those different segments. I won't go into it, but he just had the overall best jokes of the night. Was the funniest part of the night. So I gave him an award just for being funny. So laughable fringe.
Nice.
Indeed.
All right, so with your first award, take it away, Mole.
I gave mine to my first award. I named it the Hall of Pain. Fully insulting. Thank you. It was because it felt really cheap and insulting the way they're introducing Macho Man into the Hall of Fame. Because first up, all night is superstars doing the "ooh yeah," and it's like, okay, fair enough, that's respectful. I can live with this. Then when it comes to suddenly, it then cuts to like Santino, who just goes "oh yes" and tries to do it in his broken English, and it's like, fuck off. Then it cuts to Kane, who just shakes his head and like, this is kind of insulting to Macho Man. You didn't do this with any other Hall of Fame. Where were all of you going blah, 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 when Ultimate Warrior was introduced? No, nowhere. But they did it with Macho Man. And the person introducing him is Hulk Hogan, who Macho Man went on record as saying he didn't like. Because Hulk Hogan in WWE helped to bury him and drive a wedge between him and Miss Elizabeth. And they did the same thing in WCW. And Macho Man hated him. So he's introducing him because mega powers. It's like, fuck off. It's nothing, not a single part of this feels respectful. It feels like he's died. We need some sort of big celebrity. Ah, fuck it, he'll do.
Yeah, I saw that on at least what they put a video that I don't know if it's the full segment, but on the YouTube channel. And I saw it, and I thought Kane's was funny, but I definitely, like, I felt like, yeah, it was funny, but it felt like wrong. And I will agree that, yeah, some of the people, I'm like, why? Like, I know it's an attempt to be funny, like the New Day where they're like not doing it, and I'm like, okay, you're trying to be funny, but yeah, it did feel disrespectful to me. I'm like, wow, does he still hate him about the whole Stephanie thing? Like,
Yeah.
like you said, yeah, they didn't do that with other people. They're not like, well,
Yeah.
you could just not do it. And what's your imitation? Not doing it? Yeah, that's funny. Put it in. Like, what?
Yeah, it's like, like you said, I did think parts of it were funny before people think that. But yeah, I just felt disrespectful. Like, we make jokes about dead celebrities, or in Marcus's case, cause them, and it's a case of it's a case of we can, because we're not meant to be respectful, but it's like at a certain times you have to be respectful. Like at a funeral, you need to be respectful. If it's WWE themselves as a company, they need to be respectful introducing someone to the Hall of Fame, especially considering at one point you weren't going to do it because you had to get the permission of various people, and I believe Jim read that Macho Man didn't want to go in there unless they introduced his brothers, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. It's like, and now you've gone out your way to just make it as disrespectful and nasty as it could be, and I don't like that. It's like you turned this introduction into a joke.
Yeah, after they went through the effort of, they actually did get Lanny Poffo, who basically said, no, I understand what my brother's wishes were on wanting us all in, but I feel that my brother deserves to be in regardless of the situation, and that's hard to deprive him of being in the Hall of Fame and the fans of having him in the Hall of Fame. It's not worth holding out for my brothers and my father and I being in there as well. So we're gonna, Lanny's like, let put him in. He gave them permission to put him in and to let it work, to do what they had to do.
Yeah, and now he's probably sat there thinking, touche.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, you mentioned earlier they use it because they needed a big name celebrity. Fucking Sting.
Why would they introduce Sting yet? Because from the sounds of it, he's going to have a match or two, and they don't normally introduce someone into the Hall of Fame if they've still got a match or two in them. They wait until their careers are over, then introduce them as sort of a crowning, like, yay, we loved your career type statement.
Okay, fucking Undertaker.
I think he was referring to using Sting as the person to like induct him or something.
No, I meant him. I meant being him instead of Macho Man in the Hall of Fame. No,
and Undertaker has, and the only one that has really is Triple H, as I think he's been inducted as DX and Evolution, possibly.
Right.
Although he may not have been in there as Evolution. I can't remember, but
no, Evolution's not in there yet. The Four Horsemen. That's why Flair has too.
Yeah, so Triple H is in there with DX, but you know what I mean? They don't. Most of them, like Shawn Michaels, went into there after he retired. Undertaker's not in there yet, but when he retires, I guarantee you he'll be the headliner.
Yeah.
But that might just be a personal thing of why they didn't introduce Sting. That might just be me that thinks they need to retire before they're introduced.
Which is fair enough. I can understand that.
All right. So for my first award, uh, all these are from NXT. Gee, I wonder why. But
It's
this
because
is
you're the future of the X-Pound, and we're grooming you for success.
wow. I don't know if I believe that, but
Nice.
I love that the oldest guy on the X-Pound, he's the oldest guy in the X-Pound, and you're calling him the future.
second oldest.
Why not? Look how old Batista was
No,
when
I
he
think you're
joined
older than I am.
Revolution.
No,
But
I'm
your
not.
birthday's in August.
Yeah, and like I
The
said,
next year, though.
Oh, is it? I
Yeah,
thought you were the same age as me.
I am, because I'm not born in October.
but yeah, like I said to you, Marcus, though, look at Batista. He was the future of WWE and the future in Evolution, and he was old.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Admittedly, like with Batista, I didn't know he was that old. Like when I found out how old he was, I was like, "What?" Like, because he didn't look it. So I was surprised, actually.
Yeah, you're like, what? Oh, damn it! All those years watching 90210, I can't tell people's ages anymore.
Nice. So for mine, anyway, my first award is the Time to Play the Game award. In Finn Balor's match versus Tyson Kidd, right when it starts, he running drop kicks him, and I'm like, hey, that's like how I play the video game a lot of times. Like once the bell rings, I usually would like running clothesline him or drop kick him, just like, do that quick dash attack, and I was like, oh cool, I must be controlling him. I don't know, but
That's how most people play the video game.
yeah, you just gotta run up, bam. But most times when a match starts, they like stare down or they like try to. He just run. It's like ding ding, run, bam, drop kick, and I was like, nice. All right, so with your next award, take it away, Marcus.
All right. So my next award is the No award, going to Daniel Bryan for once again coming out not wearing one of his T-shirts. He comes out wearing his regular plaid shirt. I'm like, since he's been back, he's not worn one piece of merchandise. I'm like, wait. So you have Daniel Bryan back, and you're not insisting that he wears his merchandise. Apparently, WWE's allergic to money.
He has worn his merchandise since he's returned.
Well, in his match, but on Raw he has, and I've not seen him wear one piece of merchandise on Raw.
Yeah, I was just saying because he was on SmackDown in his T-shirts and wrestling and stuff. So,
fair enough.
but yeah, it does feel weird when he comes out and is basically dressed like Clark Kent from Smallville.
It's like you have your like second or third biggest moneymaker back on television, and you let him come out looking like a regular Joe. What's wrong with this picture?
What would you do if you logged onto WWE.com now and under official wrestling merchandise was a checkered shirt?
Then I would say, touche.
That'd be awesome.
But which one would it be? Because it's like John Cena's T-shirts. Every shirt he's worn has been a different color.
Yeah. It's a mood shirt.
Yeah, it's a mood shirt. It's one of those. Oh man, I don't know if they ever made those, but those like shirts that had like organisms in them, where like you could have it change what it looked like change the logo on it and stuff.
Nice. And I still remember mood rings, and they never worked for me. I put them on, it'd be like, oh, this is showing you're angry or something. I'm extremely calm. I'm just slightly bored, in fact, from putting a ring on. No, you're seething with rage. If only I'd been recently, I could have said, that's my secret. No.
Nice. All right, so with your next award, take it away, James.
All right. I mean, I had to go back because I didn't notice this at first because I missed this line, but my next award is called "Look in My Eyes."
All I see is pain.
Yeah, because where have we heard this before? Apparently, the solution to the problems in the WWE being perpetrated by those in power that you do not like is once again to win the championship and then leave so they have no title matches at their next pay-per-views. Because Cena says at the top of the show that if hashtag authority sucks doesn't work, I'm just gonna win the championship for Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, and then I'm just gonna go home and you won't have a title match at WrestleMania. So nah.
Nice.
It's like, where have I heard this before?
Yeah. Also, I think that entire promo was one huge mistake by WWE because, like, really, you take the guy who's cornering your kids market, who's basically captivated kids all over the world, and now you're telling kids it's okay to act like a whiny little bitch. Really?
Why not? One half.
Yeah,
of
I'm
the
gonna
pair-
take your gun. I'm gonna go home. So it's like
Well-
that's not the kind of message you want to be sending out.
That's slightly ironic.
Yeah, one half of the pair running the show is a whiny little bitch.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that's
You
slightly
figure out which
ironic.
half.
I was gonna say that's slightly ironic, not just Marcus, because I had seen other people make that similar comment with Cena online. I'm like, what the hell? If, like a year, 2 years ago, when as Jim pointed out, it was CM Punk because he was an internet darling. Yeah, totally agree. Bravo, great strategy, great storytelling. Cena does it. What? That's stupid. How dare you put that on TV? It's like, wait, what? What? I don't get this. He's not saying if you're a kid, quit or something. He's saying the authority's back. They're evil. Stand up to them any way you can. He's telling them to fight the power in the most bland, uninteresting, non-original way, but still fight the power. He should have come out he should come out wearing a bra and said, "This worked back in the 70s. I'm gonna burn my bra," and burns it.
Yes.
And then he tries to light the thing and it doesn't work, and then Corporate Kane just raises his hand and the bra just catches on fire spontaneously.
Yeah.
All right. So, with your next award, take it away, Mo.
And again, I slightly, unintentionally broke one of our rules, but I'm gonna be at least man enough to admit it, because this award, it got extended on SmackDown, and it is my promo of the night from SmackDown. But I've given it to Seth Rollins for, ironically, the same things we were talking about a couple of weeks back. All throughout Raw, he constantly, Rick, got in Brock Lesnar's face. And he did the same thing on SmackDown, where he constantly keeps standing up now, and he's like really confident, and he's a proper fucking heel. Like, he honestly, like, Brock's giving him like, shit, and he'll just stand there, take it, and then just say to Brock, "I'm gonna kick your ass," and that's brilliant. And Seth Rollins was great this week. So I gave it to Seth Rollins, and I called it "Never Back Down" for Seth Rollins constantly getting in everyone's face, which is awesome. But he's not been doing it in a horrible, whiny-ish way. He's actually been doing it in a really badass way, to the point that I will say, when it comes to the SmackDown portion, as I was doing it to Mark, I was like, holy fuck, where the fuck did this come from? Holy fuck. Because he just suddenly went from badass on Raw to suddenly probably one of the most badass things I've ever seen anyone do in wrestling in WWE.
Wow. Nice. So for my second award, I called it Wrecked Ball for the
Nice.
I don't know if anyone saw the Bull Dempsey v Baron Corbin match, but Baron Corbin actually pulled off an End of Days move on him, which that was pretty impressive, because like you see him do it to whatever jobber is doing, and I'm like, okay, he's picking up light guys. He's a tall dude, so he can do it, but he did it on like a big dude, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't sure, and it worked really well. Like, it wasn't like sloppy, in my opinion. So I was like, wow, he pulled that off and did it very well. So okay, you get an award, buddy, for doing that. I mean, it's no flipping a Jeep over, but oh, I don't think I mentioned that, did I? Okay, I'm gonna bore everyone for like 30 seconds. The other couple weeks ago, when I was watching on the WWE Network on my TV, my daughter was sitting there watching it, and they showed some recap where Big Show, I don't know if it was the ad for the Giants DVD, and he like pushes over that Jeep. I don't know if anyone remembers that from like 2002 or whatever it was.
When he's going, on top
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, and my daughter's like, I want to be a wrestler, and I'm gonna push over cars. I'm like,
Nice.
okay.
I have to ask, which one was it? And that's bad to say. Was it the one where he did it like on the top of the ramp, or was it the one where he
Yeah.
pushes it over the fucking car park?
It was the one at the top of the ramp.
Nice. Yeah, Big Show pushing vehicles is awesome.
I was like, wow, I actually remember that happening. And it's just funny. She's like, wow, how do you push a car? I'm like, he just like, because I'm not gonna explain physics to a 5-year-old. I'm like, he just did it. I'm like, he's really strong. She's like, oh, I'm gonna be a wrestler and do that. I'm like, okay. But anyway, so with your next award, take it away, Marcus.
Right. So my final award is I call it the Curb Stomp Repeat Award, going to Seth Rollins for curb stomping both John Cena and Brock Lesnar during the contract signing at the end of the show.
Can I suggest a different name?
Sure.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I like that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess that goes into your award of Seth Rollins finally growing balls. It's like, wow, he curb stomped them both.
I love
that
Paul
cool.
Heyman's face as well on the outside with that bit. Where he's like,
where he's like,
"Oh." No, well, he's like, no, don't do it, no. And then when Seth Rollins does, he's like, oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've been saying for the last God knows how long, Seth Rollins is awesome. I like Seth Rollins. He's a great heel. He's probably the best heel we've had in WWE for a while. In terms of, he's that type of heel where he can do the cowardless stuff that WWE likes to book and it makes sense, but he's also badass and can have the whole crowd chanting at him constantly to the point he'll win a Slammy for it. You know, Slammys matter.
They do. They're held in high regard. You can like take somebody else's and it's okay.
Yeah. That's why I want to be the first person ever to win a Grammy, an Emmy, a Tony, and a Slammy.
That'd be amazing.
It will happen. And I'll do it with one move. No. How awesome would that be? One giant musical awesome move.
That would be hilarious. Make it happen. Anyway. So for your next award, take it away, Jim.
Alrighty. So my next award, I probably would have given this award a few weeks ago, but I hadn't, because I usually miss the beginning of Raw. I hadn't actually seen them in action yet, so I wanted to wait until I'd actually seen them in action. And now that I have seen them in action, I'm going to give the What the Fuck Did You Do award to the Ascension, because what the fuck did you do to the Ascension?
They got rid of someone and put someone there who didn't belong.
I was about to say, they
and then
fired
a whole bunch of other stuff.
Well, I'll tell you, they made them terrible in the ring. They got rid of their awesome gimmick and made them LOD rip-offs.
I will say the original member who's still standing is still cool to watch in the ring.
Fair enough.
He's never been overly great, but he's that type of big guy where it's like, I totally buy him just dominating something.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like, okay, their matches aren't nearly as good as they were in NXT. You turn them into an LOD rip-off with a really stupid costumes. They're fighting random-ass jobber dudes and being buried. It's like, what the hell did you do? This is like your next big tag team. What happened here?
And don't forget the thing I believe I gave it to an award to last week. They constantly tell us they're better than teams like Legion of Doom and stuff, which makes us hate them for the wrong reasons. Not because they're great heels, but because they're just... It's like, no, you're not that good. Fuck off.
Yeah, not really. Thank you for reminding me of that. I forgot.
My pleasure, Jim.
That's my award.
Yay! You get a cookie.
Oh, no.
Feed him more. Anyway. All right, so Mole with your next award.
I called it Slap That Kid.
Okay. Excuse me.
I just love that name just for the award. But yeah, Paige, after their matchup and stuff with Tyson Kidd on the outside, she turns around and she actually slaps the fuck out Tyson Kidd. And you see Natalia giggle like fuck until Tyson Kidd then looks back at her and she stops. And it's like, that's a great little scene.
Yeah.
I love the fact Natalia and Paige are BFFs. That's wonderful. That they're with Tyson Kidd, which is wonderful. And now they're playing the dynamic of Tyson Kidd's a dick to Natalia, which is awesome. But Paige is standing up for Natalia, which is awesome. And it's like, that's just a great dynamic. Hopefully they don't make a love triangle out of this shit. But that's a great... I just love Paige, Natalia, and Tyson Kidd together. And that slap was just hilarious. I found it awesome.
Nice. All right, so for my next award, I give this to the next couple are from the same match, but that's okay, doesn't matter. I call this the "Gee, I wonder who will win" award for Sami Zayn defending his NXT title for the first time against Adrian Neville, and in Sami Zayn's like Titantron, it like has the title like all across it, and it's like integrated really well. So like the plates have like little monitors in them, if that makes sense. So like it shows a video in where the plates on the belt are on his Titantron. I'm like, that looks really cool, and like his logo, the SZ thing, is like on the middle of the belt, and I'm like, that looks really cool. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't put all that effort into it if he was gonna lose it though, because like I don't think he had it last week when he came out, but.
That sounds like my suggestion for the LCD belt, for current stuff with the belt. I want to see that. I need to see that because I haven't been able to watch NXT.
Oh, yeah.
I need. It is back. We have the network now, and I'm going to start watching it again from next week or just catch up. But that does sound pretty cool. Please tell me your next award is. Okay, disregard the title of the last award.
No, that would have been an awesome award.
Well, Russo Swerve.
Russo Swerve. Yeah, the next one is guess who's coming out with a new Titantron next week? Yeah. But yeah, that was mine. So, with your next one, since Marcus gave his last one, take it away, James.
I did. Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I thought we were on fourth a minute. I was like, wait, what?
Oh.
We're on four. This is my fourth.
Fair enough. Go fourth.
Nah.
Nice.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
Anyway.
We still love you, Marcus.
Oh. So my fourth and final award, I call this "What's Good for Blank." For the Paul Heyman wonderfully taking a few moments during the contract signing to explain to us exactly, in the most convoluted manner possible, why the Authority being back is good for Brock Lesnar.
Nice.
Because what's good for that, it's good for that. What's good for this, it's good for that. What's good for them is bad for John Cena. And what's bad for John Cena is good for Brock Lesnar.
And what's good for Brock Lesnar starred in a movie with Kevin Bacon.
Ha! That would have been hilarious. But yeah, I just like that bit where you just like keeps going on and on about this and that. It's like, okay, I'm impressed that you remembered all that, Paul. So props to him for that.
All right. So with your next one, take it away, Mole.
My next award, which is just a small one, but I don't know if anyone here will care, but I named it "Righting the Wrong." Because do you remember last week when I gave the award to how WWE had poorly booked Bad News Barrett?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This week on SmackDown, he had a matchup with Sin Cara and completely destroys him in a matter of seconds.
Nice.
And I'm like, while I'm not saying Sin Cara should be jobbed out, he is good on NXT with the tag team and stuff. It just felt really stupid to bring him up just to beat Wade Barrett and make Wade Barrett look like ass. This week he just completely beat the crap out of him. I'm like, fair enough, he can go back to NXT, he can be successful there, people will like him. When he comes up to the main roster, people will have forgotten he lost this fast to Wade Barrett. This hurts no one. All it does is right the wrong of how you booked Wade Barrett. So I'm like, cool.
Very nice.
All right, so for my fourth one, this one's pretty quick, but I thought it was pretty cool. I call this one the Instant Replay Award.
Replay!
For when Adrian Neville did it was like a really, really fast Hurricane Rana to Sami Zayn. Like he just jumped up, bam, Hurricane Rana. I was like, what? Like they had to show it again. I was like, that was really cool because it was just super fast, and you kind of needed an instant replay because it really was one of those blink and you miss it ones, which is kind of crazy for how much effort goes into a Hurricane Rana that you could miss it if you were half paying attention. But I gave it to that.
Nice.
And so with the fifth award, take it away, Mole.
Thank you. My last award, which is a little controversial, I don't know if Marcus, Jim, or you will agree, but I called it "Be Careful What You Wish For," because we have the network in the UK. It works fine. I'm not going to fault how it works. I can watch it. It's fine. All I really give a shit about what's on the network is the countdown and maybe the Monday Night Wars. I haven't quite watched that yet. The rest of the stuff, if it's a good pay-per-view, I already own it on DVD. And the rest of their exclusive stuff, like Legends House, it's like fuck off. I don't even like Celebrity Big Brother. Fuck off. And all the other stuff I have on, I'm like, this is actually a whole network of shit. Shit, or really old stuff we already know about. And I'm like, this isn't worth the price. I'm almost tempted when it's up to just say fuck it and just give the extra £5 a month to the actual pay-per-view people and just order it back on TV and say fuck off WWE, I'm voting with my wallet, make your network good, or I'm not subscribing. But at least I'm tempted to that. But I don't know how you guys feel about the network, but for me it feels like they've made a big deal out of nothing. With all the hype, with all the delays, I get the network, I'm like, yay! Oh. Okay. And runner-up name would have been the Phantom Menace. Because I had to put that back. But I wanted to go with the "Be Careful What You Wish For." But I'm not sure. How do you feel, Marcus?
I can kind of agree with that. I mean, I should probably watch it more than I do, and there's a lot of stuff on there I would want to watch, but yeah, there's not a lot on there, to be honest. It's a bunch of old stuff, which is cool. For you, it's not as big a deal because, like you said, most, if not all, the old stuff that you would want to watch, you have on like DVD or tape anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool for, like, say, someone like me who either wasn't around or wasn't watching back then, or just doesn't have that stuff. It's kind of cool to just have it at my fingertips. So I think it comes down to personal preference and just who you are as a WWE fan.
Oh, it does, but I feel the main stuff with it shouldn't just be the back catalogue. Like, they've done one exclusive match of Sheamus versus Rusev. Sheamus versus Rusev. Oh, I totally watch him beat the shit out of Rusev for an hour. Sheamus versus Rusev. That's the only one. It's like there's no new content. It's not like it's basically all they've done is repackaged their old stuff they had on the PC. A while back when they had it just on PC, what was it, like WWE from the Vault or back catalogue, whatever they called it, and you could subscribe to that for a little bit cheaper. They've just repackaged that and sold it you again. It's like, what? But yeah. I feel there should be some new exclusive stuff on there. Like, they've got rid of the backstage Raw pass. Why? And stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know. Although I do love the fact NXT's on there, but so I can start watching NXT.
So I still have it like that, and I guess the pay-per-views.
I'm surprised. Have you watched the ECW thing yet?
The one hosted by Joey Styles and
Paul
Heyman.
Yeah. Nice. Was that worth it?
I liked it. Part 2 I thought was kind of funny because it was like extra stuff they weren't supposed to. Like, it was like an extra 15 minutes or something like that that they went over because it was supposed to be like an hour-long thing, and it was just
nice. The reason I was asking is I know we watched the ECW here, and then like my brother and stuff watched it and stuff. But one of the reasons I was like about because I was wondering because a few times you know what I mean, like the 50 OMGs of WCW, it's just
Yeah.
insulting it. And I was like, I don't want them to do that with ECW. So if it's actually good, I might watch that. So yeah,
I
that'll be
thought
a
it was
third
pretty
thing.
good. I mean, there's definitely some. I don't know, like Paul Heyman is a little bit current Paul Heyman, so he sometimes does the like Brock Lesnar up talking stuff. But I thought there was some really interesting things said during that, like when he was asking, like, and I felt like they were honest. Plus, they also did poke fun at like having to adhere to current WWE
Nice.
lines. But it was like with Paul Heyman, like when they asked him like who he'd want in old ECW, and it was pretty interesting some of his answers. So I enjoyed it at least.
Was his answer Brock?
That was one of them. But he also listed some other people, and I was like, oh wow, I wouldn't have thought he'd want that person.
Nice. That does sound pretty cool. What does Jim think about the network?
I like the network personally.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, I don't watch that much on it, but it's got NXT. I had main event for a while. That's a whole set of problem. You can go back on there, see Slam City. I've watched a few of the past events here and there, so I think it's a really good idea. I think as they further expand and develop the content, I think it's going to work out really well.
Ah, cool. So I believe back to you, Rick, for your.
Yep. All right, so for my final award, I call this the Combo Breaker Award for Sami Zayn against Adrian Neville, where he tried his diving through the corner ropes DDT thing and just got kicked in the face. It's like he dives through just pow right into a foot. I was like, oh yeah, because I mean, I know at least once Cesaro like uppercutted him out of there, but it's just kind of cool, like because I like that move, but I'm like, I don't want him to overuse it because I don't want it to not be cool. And just see him try it and just get rejected, I'm like, I approve. That was pretty cool. That was a good spot.
Nice.
So, all right, that was our awards. So now on to match and promo of the night for the shows that we saw. So first, take it away, Mole.
And thank you. For promo of the night for Raw, I'll get Jim to help me out with this because Jim will probably remember more of it than I do, but I gave it to Roman Reigns' story. Because Roman Reigns came out and told the story, but unlike Sheamus, it didn't involve like his third cousin twice removed or anything like that. The whole time I was like, this is an awesome promo, and I was listening to it. It felt like a great story.
Yeah, actually, I give my promo of the night to the entire segment, the Big Show, Roman Reigns, because Big Show had some good stuff in there too with his heel promos.
He did. I do like Big Show's heel promos.
Yeah, that was just an awesome bit. Just the two of them when Big Show came out, started doing his promo, and then Roman Reigns interrupted him. Now, Big Show, let me tell you a story. Story about a little boy named Roman Reigns. I can't remember what the story was, but it was cool. It was
I've got some
fluid.
bad news for you.
Yeah, Roman Reigns has been getting really good on the mic. He's been getting more confident on the mic, and he's been just really fluid. He's really good.
Fair enough.
You remember that Roman Reigns was 12 years old, and he saw Big Show win the title from Hulk Hogan. And
yeah, wasn't that in WCW?
Yeah, when he debuted. And then he went into the story about then he compared it to a Jack and the Beanstalk story, how he was Jack, and then he went up and he ran into the big giant, and he was gonna beat him up or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did like that bit when he was like, "Yeah, I remember when you won the World Heavyweight Championship off Hulk Hogan." And do you know why? Because I was watching it and I was 12 years old. Like he was calling Big Show old, and I was like, "Wow, no one's made that joke of Big Show yet." I like that.
Yeah.
It's always just the normal, "Oh, you're fat," "Oh, you're big" jokes.
Yeah.
There's very few "you're old." And I like that. My match of the night for Raw went to John Cena versus Seth Rollins in a lumberjack match. Because the pacing of the match was good. Yeah, the lumberjacks were all heels, but I don't care. As they were doing the matchup, that was a pretty good match. I liked that lumberjack match. It was a good paced lumberjack match. But I'm not sure if anyone else here liked that match. I believe it was the first match of the night.
It was the first match of the night. I think it was an okay match. It was not my match of the night. It was decent.
Oh, I didn't think it'd be your guys' match of the night. I just thought if you liked the match, But
It was okay.
and I'm going to go in reverse order. Match night for SmackDown went to Nikki Bella with Brie versus Natalia, who had Paige.
Oh.
That was a great match, and the ending was actually kind of funny.
Okay.
Basically, Natalia sets her up into a sharpshooter. As she does it, Brie gets on the apron and starts to distract the ref. So Natalia gets off, looks over at Brie on the apron and starts to get distracted. And then as she's doing that, Nikki crawls into the ropes and Paige slaps the shit out of her. Nikki falls backwards. Natalia turns around, sees Nikki now lying face down anyway, and puts the sharpshooter back on and wins. I'm like, that's an amazingly kind of funny twist on the old, oh, you distracted them with a submission when they're doing a submission tactic. And I thought that was kind of funny. You don't see it often.
No, you don't.
Mhm.
The last thing I wanted to end with this, because this was probably my best part of the entire week, was Paul Heyman in the middle of the ring on SmackDown. And he talks about how I'm afraid, I'm terrified of what Brock could do if he lost his title without being beat. Because Brock does what Brock likes to do. Brock ended The Undertaker's streak because it needed conquering. He beat John Cena for the World Heavyweight title just because it was a Sunday and he had nothing to do. Which in itself, that's a great line. Then Seth Rollins interrupts, and Seth Rollins comes to the ring and goes, you know what, I'm sick and tired of all these people saying that I'm afraid of Brock and walking around eggshells on Brock. I'm not afraid. I'm sick of all these people who whine and complain and stuff like that on the internet saying, I need the authority. I don't need the authority. Hi, Jim. But no, I'm kidding. He didn't actually say hi, Jim, but that would have been amazing. He said,
Nah.
That would have been amazing.
He said, I don't need the authority. He said, in fact, you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to cash in Money in the Bank. And he throws down his briefcase and goes, bring out Brock. I'm going to face him right now. I don't care. I want to kick his ass right now. And then Paul Heyman's like, I'm sorry, but I hate to say this to you. As you may already know or may not know, Brock Lesnar's not here tonight. To which Seth Rollins looks pissed at that news, like he didn't know. Gets in Paul Heyman's face and goes, well, if I can't curb stomp Brock, I'm going to curb stomp you. To which Paul Heyman mocks him with, oh, how original. Everyone thinks when Brock's not around, let's attack Paul Heyman. They do this all the time. Ha, ha, ha. You think you're so tough, you can beat up Paul Heyman. And I'm like, that's great, because they actually reference that. When Brock's not around, Paul gets beat up every week. Seth Rollins responds with, no. I don't think I'm tough. I think I'm smart. Because if I take you out, I take out Brock Lesnar's main asset. Because without you, he's all brawn, no brains.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the architect. I'm the most intelligent person in WWE today. I can outthink a monster like Brock. Whether or not I can outthink Brock when he has you, I don't know. So I'm going to curb stomp you, Paul. And I'm like, that's awesome. And Paul's like, no, please don't, please. And he says, okay, let me put it to you this way, Seth. The authority, they went away once. They could go away again. And Seth Rollins listened to me, goes, so listen to me. Imagine if Brock Lesnar was to lose his title. Imagine if the title was suddenly around the waist of, say, John Cena. And Brock Lesnar's not around. And you're the future of WWE, which is a pretty bold statement to make. He goes, and you decide to cash in your Money in the Bank. And there's no authority. He goes, well, what if I suddenly decide, you know what? The future is now. And I assign a particular future Money in the Bank winner, or a particular World Heavyweight Championship winner. What if I assign him Brock Lesnar to make sure no one can take that title off him? And I guarantee the future is now. And Seth sort of looks at him, and they sort of had this look between them, and Paul Heyman leaves, and it's like, that whole thing, great fucking promo, really well done. Seth looked badass. Paul Heyman looked weaselly and genius at the same time, so it got everyone's main points across well, and it left you thinking, holy fuck, Seth Rollins could become a Paul Heyman guy. I would love that. And it's like, I just loved that whole segment. It was the great segment and probably the best part of the entire week for me.
Oh, totally.
It sounds awesome.
So back to our lovely, lovely host,
All right, so
who once appeared in a movie called Ghost Dad.
I think you just never mind.
You didn't appear as Ghost Dad?
No,
Oh, if I was you, I was going to watch that film.
it was not me. Sorry.
He's in the upcoming reboot.
There you go. All right, so with your match and promos of the night, take it away, Marcus.
All right, well, I did my promo of the night already because it's basically the same as Moles. It's the Big Show Roman Reigns stuff. And my match of the night is a match immediately following that promo. Roman Reigns versus Luke Harper with Big Show at ringside. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember much about the match right now, but that was probably my favorite match of the night because it was a pretty solid match. I can't remember. I can't even remember why I put that on there because I don't remember the match, but which is sad because the match I do remember is the one I didn't like very much, which was the Cena one. But yeah, that's my match of the night: Roman Reigns versus Luke Harper with Big Show. I really like this feud because I like the matches are okay that I'm seeing with the feud, but I really like the promos of this feud. And like I said, they're putting out pretty solid matches because last week's match of the night for me was Roman Reigns v Big Show, so they are putting on pretty solid matches.
Was that the tag one?
No, it's Roman Reigns versus Luke Harper. Because
Oh,
they were saying their stuff, and then Luke Harper came out for his match, and Big Show just sat down and watched the match.
fair enough. Okay, so it was that one. I couldn't honestly remember because I know this week on SmackDown we had the triple team one, so I knew it wasn't that.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the times, either this week or last week, there'd been a time when it'd been Roman Reigns versus Big Show. Big Show had who was it? It was someone like Eric Rowan or someone with him, and then
No,
Roman
it was
Reigns got
it was
Brian,
Roman
not Brian.
Ambrose. It was Roman Reigns v Seth Rollins and Big Show. And they said,
fair enough.
see who you can find as a tag team partner. And he's like, okay, well, I found him. And Ambrose came out, and they're like, shit.
Yeah, fair enough. I thought they'd done that twice because those two had teamed up a couple of times in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, fair
That's
enough.
the only time I can think of, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Luke Harper's actually... Harper and Rowan aren't that bad in the ring as they've been showing. You pair them up with the right guys, they can put on some pretty solid matches.
Oh, I agree. I think those two aren't terrible in the ring. They're not the worst thing to ever happen, cough Ryback. But no, it's a case of they just need to change their gimmick because they're pretty much the same people right now.
Yeah, they do.
Like, Eric Rowan likes to put on the sheep mask and do all this stuff, but he also has been in loads of comedy skits. I'd kind of like to see him become a fun baby face, sort of like Face Big Show or Broad Brutus Clay or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe not with the dancing, but you know what I mean? I think he needs something new.
Yeah, and I think Harper, I'm sorry, needs to get rid of the goat bleat because he was never the one that wore the goat mask. Why does he have the bleat? If anyone should have that as like a catchphrase or a call, it should be Eric Rowan because he's the one that wears the sheep mask.
He wears the sheep mask, but the other one did do the call. He's always done the call, which means it's kind of his thing, if that makes sense.
I know, but I'm just wondering why it's his thing. Why did they give it to him? It kind of didn't make sense to me.
It didn't. It worked when they were together. But yeah, it doesn't work separate.
Yeah. It's actually kind of funny because with Rowan, they've kind of changed his gimmick up a little bit, but he still wears the same stuff. With Harper, they've changed his outfit, has the same fucking gimmick.
He does. I would say Rowan sort of seems to be too similar for me still. I'd like to see him with something else. Like, how amazing would it be if, I don't know, say Miz gets his hands on him and says, look, I'm going to make you a star or something. Next week he comes out with shaven, clean-cut hair, like a goatee or something like that, and he's like Miz's new bodyguard or something like that, has sort of like a Diesel with Shawn Michaels gimmick where he's like protecting Miz style. That'd be amazing, especially for when Sandow eventually feuds with Miz, because when Sandow fused with Miz, if they've shown that Damien Sandow can do all of Miz's moves and can do all of his own, he instantly looks better when he shouldn't. They should look. There should be something where it's like, oh, who's going to win? So if he's got Eric Rowan on a ringside, you have to, oh, is he going to interfere aspect? So that might just be me that thinks that'd be cool.
Yeah, if anyone, it'd be Harper. But I think Harper, I think he's probably going to cut his hair or shave his head pretty soon because he is balding, and that's just not going to get any better.
That's the one I meant. Harper, the one that's heel.
Yeah.
Whereas Eric Rowan's the big red.
Yeah. That's
yeah. I always get their names mixed up.
But yeah, I think they need to cut Harper's hair and probably shave him just because of the balding thing. It's not looking good when you see that line of no hair go like S curving around the top of his head. It's just like no, cut your hair now.
I will say I respect balding people and bald people and think they are awesome.
You respect the ding or whatever it was. That...
yeah. Yeah. Why don't anyone respect the ding?
Yeah.
I'm sure Hulk Hogan said that before, no?
No, Hulk Hogan denies the ding.
Yeah, he sues people when they call him bald.
But yeah, that's my back to host.
All right. So, your match and promo of the night, take it away, James Phoenix.
All right. My match of the night was, Marcus already mentioned, I also gave it to the Roman Reigns-Luke Harper match. It was a great match. My promo of the night...
in that match?
What's that?
Did you remember what happened in that match?
I remember they had some back and forth action. It was pretty good.
So, no. Okay, fair enough. Continue.
Why? Do you remember what happened in that match?
No, that's why I asked.
Oh, I can tell you. I've got the Raw summary on the back tab here. Let me tell you what happened in that match.
What have you done, Marcus?
Mm-hmm.
See, this is why I only vote for matches of the week. I actually remember.
Let's see. They went back and forth. Reigns went for a Superman punch. Big Show threw a chair in the ring and distracted Reigns. Harper took advantage and hit a side slam. Reigns got the Superman punch connected. Then he goes out and stares at Big Show before hitting the big apron flying double boot to the face on Harper.
That's right, I remember that.
Yeah, Big Show runs over. Reigns kicked him in the face off the apron. Then Harper super kicked Reigns for a near fall. Harper went for the spinning clothesline. Reigns ducked it, hit him with a big spear, and he got the pinfall.
Right. Yeah, that's right. They had a lot of good like countering and stuff in this match. That's why I like this match.
Yeah,
they showed a lot of technical prowess in this match, which kind of surprised me a little bit. I mean, probably more from Harper than from Reigns, because Reigns I know is actually a pretty technical wrestler if you let him do stuff with his speed and stuff. But facing someone like Harper, I was kind of surprised at wow, okay, this is actually pretty competitive.
Harper shouldn't surprise you.
Why is that?
Watch his matches with Dolph Ziggler and John Cena, and he's used that type of stuff before. Often, whenever he's against Dolph Ziggler or Cena, he's constantly done that.
Fair enough. Yeah, it was a good match. So go ahead, continue, Jim. Thank you for the recap.
You're welcome. And then my promo of the night was not the contract signing, but earlier in the night when Paul Heyman came out to the ring and talked up Brock Lesnar for a while, because I don't like hearing Paul Heyman talk about things because he's such a good promo cutter.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a great job talking up Brock Lesnar.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman.
Exactly. Him and Lesnar came out. Heyman just basically he showed a video package about how Lesnar conquered The Undertaker in New Orleans last time they were there. You know, returning to the scene of the crime. He talked about the next victims are going to be Cena and Seth Rollins, and they'll all share the same night for the signing, blah, blah. He does a good job talking up Brock and reminding everybody, hey, ended the streak here. You know, be afraid, be very afraid. It worked.
Nice.
Back to our oh-so-lovely host.
All right, so for promo of the night, I wasn't really sure what to put. There was only really one promo on NXT, and that was really all I saw, and it was Bull Dempsey, and it was okay, but so I guess it wins by default. I don't know, but
Default, the two greatest words in the English language.
default. That is a wonderful episode.
Or Bull Dempsey.
I know, but the match of the night, strangely enough, was the first match. I thought the Finn Balor versus Tyson Kidd. That was a really solid start to the show, and it was a really entertaining match. Had some really good spots on it. Also ended the entrance music of Finn like they did last week, but we're just cut out. I'm like, I guess it's supposed to because the audience didn't go aw. But anyway, there's one really cool spot that I liked was when Finn tried to. It was kind of like the Pele kick, but he was on the outside of the ring, on the apron, and he grabbed the top rope and tried to do it, and Tyson Kidd just grabbed his foot, and then he dragon screwed him like with the rope. It was pretty cool, and I was like, ooh, that looked nice. But that was a really good match, from both people. So I was like, that was my favorite match of the night, so I gave it to that.
Yay, Tyson Kidd got enough award.
I know, but he didn't have his little kitty hoodie, which made me sad. Like he has like new cat tights though. It has like the scratch marks and like I think it's a tiger face. I don't know, like on his knee pads. But so they're really going with the he likes cats thing.
Spoiler alert: they weren't actually cat marks on the tights. He was just holding his cat backstage.
Nice. All right, so there you have it. So unless anyone has anything else to add, that should do it for this week for X-Marks. Recapping everything that we liked in the previous week of wrestling. So leave a comment below. Tell us anything that you enjoyed, or if you agree or disagree with our choices. And thank everyone for listening. And I hope that we will see you again next week, which should be Sunday, correct? Because the Royal Rumble is next weekend.
Correct.
Yes.
All right.
Correct.
So join us next Sunday we will be talking about the Royal Rumble and should still have our awards and whatnot. So thank you everyone for joining us and good night.
And before you hit quit, I'd just like to also point out for those of you out there listening who watched this solely for Richter Hammer, he's going to be on Around the Pound next week.
That's true.
Tune in for that.
Mm-hmm. And also, since we're on the air, might as well take this moment to announce that in the month of February, we will be doing the new Amazon Prime season. So stay tuned for those reviews.
Indeed.
Cameron will be joining us for those as well. Some of them, anyway.
Also, last thing I want to mention, because I did tweet this, but Year of Trek starts this Monday on the Shadows Mall. Be on the lookout for that.
Star Trek the Motion Picture, baby.
Well, I'm calling it the Year of Trek because we're doing one a month for the entire year.
I know.
Yeah.
But I want to tell them which one we're starting with so they know what we're actually doing. It's one Star Trek film each year going from each month for the whole year, going from TMP through Into Darkness.
Yes,
Indeed.
we're going
Good night,
in order. I would like to advertise #Pewcraft. Thank you.
Nice.
Or #Puniverse. Bye, everybody.